My name is Jenny Thomason, and I am passionate about floral education and allowing yourself the permission to create unapologetically. Today's inspiration is noggin dressing. It is Christmas time here as we're recording, and I felt very festive, so noggin dressing it is. The first flower crown that we're going to do is going to be a full crown. I'm going to show you a technique on how to use a pipe cleaner to make the base for your flower crown. Here I have 4 pieces of pipe cleaner, the assortment of foliages and flowers. Start by taking 2 of your pipe cleaners, and we're going to make them a little bit longer so they can go all the way around the head. We're going to cross the ends of those pipe cleaners. We're going to give them a couple twists, and then even them back out. Twist those pieces together. And you have the proper length. Do that again. And then we're going to attach these 2. Even up the ends. Couple twists. And then twist the very end together. Fold down. We're going to take a piece of ribbon, go into that last loop, and on top of the twist, we're going to tie a double knot. Then we're going to create a link for the entire length. So I use my finger as a gauge. So in between the pipe cleaners, a couple twists, and then go up again. I'm going to trim off that excess, fold that down, grab our second piece of ribbon through the loop, and double knot again. Now our base is prepared. Going through and making sure that all the links are nice and secure. And also lay the base flat. Now we're going to use our cold adhesive. And we are going to apply that on top of our pipe cleaner. I'll stop halfway through just so I can get started, and then I'll finish the other half. Let that set. Now remove some more leaves to finish the base. Once the back is covered, then we'll flip it around to work on the front. We're going to be using hydrangea, delphinium, orchid, spray rose, and a little touch of fern. Applying our cold adhesive. I'm going to do my fern layer first, and then follow that with my hydrangea. Next, I'm going to be adding my spray roses. When preparing these, you want to make sure that you cut them nice and flat, right underneath the base of the rose. And then add your cold adhesive right where you cut it off, in a fairly good amount. Our orchids will do the same way. Adhesive on the back, and then cluster and position on top of our base. Finally, we have our delphinium, and we'll pull those blossoms off. I want to keep the stem on the delphinium. And I want to glue on the length of that stem, just so it has more surface area that it can attach to. This gives the delphinium ability to come up off of the base of the crown just a little bit, so it doesn't appear so flat. And that is how you make a flower crown all the way around the head. For our second part of our flower crown video, I'm going to be showing you how to make a partial flower crown. This is very popular right now, where you have just a foliage base for the back and a larger floral accent on one side of the head. So we'll start by making the medallion that will hold that large floral accent. So I have 3 pipe cleaners, and I'm going to create my base out of those. Folding in half, and then twisting the end, tucking in the ends, and creating kind of a leaf shape. Then, using another pipe cleaner, wrap around, go to the opposite side, wrap around completely, across again, and then give that a trim. Our other pipe cleaner, same, but start on the opposite side. And then give it a trim. We want to make sure that we cover our base. So we're going to be using our FATSIA japonica leaf because it is so large. So we'll be able to add the cold adhesive onto our pipe cleaner. And then lay that right down on top of our leaf so we know that it's going to cover completely. I like to take something heavy and multitask. Let that sit there while we work on the rest. Taking a piece of ivy, that's going to be our vine that's just very simple around the back part of the head. We want to give it a little bit more stability. So we're going to be using paddle wire. This is wire that's on this roll that is one continual piece. This is really good to use when you're making halos. I'm just going to create a quick little loop on the end because I'm going to need that when I attach it to our pipe cleaner. Take our paddle wire and start to wrap that around our ivy stem. A cut, and then also give that a little loop. Take an additional piece of ivy. We can attach that by just wiring it on. And weaving it around. That adds a little bit more body to the base, but we already have the stability from the first time that we wrapped the paddle wire. And now for our medallion. This should be dry. So now we can trim around the pipe cleaner. And our base is ready to go. Take our loop. We can weave that down in through our medallion. You go in a little bit further to that first crosshair so it holds it, so it's going to be nice and secure. Come back. Go into the very end. Weave through again. Out. Around the ivy stem. And then back in towards the center. That wire is going to be hidden because we're going to glue our material on top so it won't scratch anybody. The second one the same. Through. Around. Through again. Now we have finished our halo base. Now it's time to add floral. With our cold adhesive, I'm going to start by adding a Gerber daisy. Flat cut to the base of the head. A fair amount of cold adhesive. And then not directly in the center, but off to the side just a little bit. Next we have our dahlia. Flat. And this, I'm going to actually glue the first one onto the petals of the Gerber daisy. The second one, I'm going to glue underneath the Gerber daisy. Then we have our roses. Also onto the petal of the Gerber daisy. And then paired next to it like a cluster. Now our spray roses. I'm going to leave a little bit of stem. And I'm just going to cluster these around. Kind of fill any holes that you may have, or if there's a little bit of darkness, you want to bring a little bit of color to. This is a great flower to use to do that. That nice gray tone. It kind of pulls out those little bit of gray tones that you normally wouldn't see in these other flowers, but by pairing them next to each other, it really does enhance that. The Gerber daisy is a great flower I have found to use as a base. It's one of those flowers that, you know, not only does it have one petal, but it's got like 100 petals. So it automatically is a great mechanic to use. There's so many layers that you can put your material into, and the surface area that it takes up is really remarkable. And then finally, I'm going to add a little bit of stock. For those of you that don't know, stock is amazing. It has a wonderful fragrance. It kind of smells like sweet pepper. It's one of my favorites. And I just pinch those off the stem right where I pinched them off. Again, the cold adhesive. And it's just kind of coloring wherever you think you need it. And that is how you make a partial halo. And now our final and most exciting headpiece to make. We have a lovely assistant, Blair. She's going to be our model. And we're going to make a very beautiful avant-garde headpiece for her. This is something that is very suitable for fashion magazines or photo shoots, or someone who just wants to be a tad bit extra. Not saying you're extra, but anyone who wants to be a tad bit extra. I'm going to explain to you the mechanics on how to build this, and then also finally how to attach it to a head. So starting, we have styrofoam. I like to use a styrofoam ring, but you can also use a styrofoam ball. This is very lightweight and it's easy to pierce material into. And I want to cover my styrofoam. I'm using these large brown sycamore leaves that I can wrap around. And then I can use my Oasis fine wire. And I can attach those leaves very easily to my base. And I can just keep adding and wrapping until I achieve something that is completely covered. Next, I need to prep my materials. And I have wires on the end of all the materials that I'm going to be using. So I've cut the stems and I've attached the wires. I've also hyperextended some rose petals over here. And I'm going to show you how to wire your material and also how to do the hyperextension on your rose petal. So go ahead and you start by cutting your stem and inserting a wire up into your rose stem. Using your floral tape, I'm going to go ahead and tape from the rose down onto the wire. And then to adjust the petal structure, you're going to pull back on the petal and you're going to fold from one side to the other and then back up. And you just go from exterior petal to the next exterior petal. You'll get to a point where the rose doesn't really let you unroll it anymore. And that's okay, at that point you would stop. Now we're going to add the styrofoam onto Blair's noggin. And we're going to use her hair to attach. So we'll take a piece. We'll wrap around completely. And then using a little bit of a sturdier hairpin, try to get into a piece of the bind wire and her hair before you put it back in. go the other side. How are we doing?
Me?
Yep.
Feels good. Feels good.
Good. All right. That's on there very well. So now we get to add our floral. Now because there's wires on the end of all of these, we're going to be able to pierce it right into the styrofoam. It looks so good already. Did you see these? All right, I'm gonna finish off with a little bit of orchids, and then we will be complete. These I didn't wire. I'm gonna glue these in just so I can hide any mechanics. And it will brighten up the color down deep into the composition. A little bit of glue on the end. Won't pull your hair. My name is Jenny Thomason, and I hope you found this video inspiring. Thank you for watching, and be sure to check out even more floral education at jennypfloristry.com and follow on my social media accounts for up-to-date classes and lectures.